the delicacy that it needed, and then also the scenes between Josh and Jen, just because they were so beautifully written, and I felt like kind of necessary for this whole journey that this Simon character goes on. So those were both exciting for me, and the dance sequence, obviously, because I mean, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And you, Jen?
I thought the scene between Emily and her son is just like a template for how moms can handle a moment like this. And selfishly, I really wanted to be the one to say it. And I was talking to a friend of mine as I was trying to decide, do I try to do this? Is this movie gonna work? And he said, you know, this movie would have been really helpful for me when I was growing up. This would have been a big deal for me. And I just said, okay, I'm in, I'm doing it. You've got it.
Are we talking about which scene in particular? I forgot the
Yeah,
question.
no, the question was, you may answer this question or another one, I can throw you another one, but I was asking, what scene when you read the script really stood out for you as a scene you wanted to play?
Well, that's easy. It was the scene with Nick and I in the driveway. I mean, there's several reasons I wanted to do the movie, but that's, if you're going to ask me which scene, it's that one, because I think that this character represents maybe a lot of fathers out there who have found out that their sons were gay, or their daughters. He wasn't necessarily homophobic, but he was, like you said, tone deaf to a lot of things, and probably wasn't as tuned as he should have been, and learns through the reveal that, you know what, it doesn't matter, I love you no matter what. And I think that there's something really powerful in that.
Now, all three of you have been in high school movies, have played young people, are playing young people. Now you two are playing the parents, and not the protagonist in this
Thanks
way.
for reminding me.
Very young parents.
We had him when we were, what, 8?
Well, it's good. You did a good job, as I said, and it's nice that you were able to cobble things together as 8-year-old parents. You don't see that. But seriously, as people who have been in his spot and who have played, you know, in youth movies and now playing parents, do you bring something special, some special insight? And what makes this different from maybe the generation of youth movies that you were auditioning for or working in?
Well, for me, it was many things. Greg Berlanti is one of my favorite people in the world. I did a movie with him several years ago called Life as We Know It, and we've remained friends ever since. I felt it had this, and especially after seeing it, it had like this John Hughes sort of coming of age sort of feel to it, which I loved, and I loved them. After seeing it, I loved the music in the movie.
That's so important, right? In a movie, if you're trying to reach a younger audience, the joie de vivre, the music, the just overall energy of it, and Greg really understands that. And it doesn't matter whether you're playing the parents or whether you're playing the protagonist. You still have to kind of bring that energy into a movie like this. And it was fun to do.
Great. One last question, because I know you're all itching to ask questions. Who were you guys in high school? Do you see yourselves in these characters, or who do you think you would be if we were looking at this film and saying that's Jen Garner in high school?
Oh man, I'll let you guys handle that one.
I feel like high school. I don't think anyone in high school is actually like kind of the best version of themselves. But I felt like I was kind of the guy who could go from group to group and kind of get along, you know, just get by. I don't know if I'd like classify any particular, you know, clique that I fell into, but just average guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So modest.
Yeah.
No, it's true though. I mean,
You
for
were the
me too.
jock.
No, well, I did play sports,
Right.
But like Nick,
Kind of a
but
thug.
like Nick, I had friends. I had friends with Metallica jackets and smoked cigarettes out back too. You know, I was.
So you got along with both sets of bullies in your high school.
I was like Nick. I was the guy who tried to, you know, be as available to or accepting or friendly to everybody. I really did.
Jen?
I don't think I even rated a character in this. But I mean, I was happy. I didn't think about the fact that, because I was in West Virginia. I don't know. We just, either we didn't pay attention or I didn't pay attention to popular clicks or anything like that. You know, I played the saxophone and I danced every day after school and I babysat a lot and, you know, it's okay. I survived it.
Well, if there's one message from this movie is that it will be okay and you will survive it, and it's nice to see you guys represent such real characters who deal with real problems so positively and without making it heavy drama. I loved it. So, apologize.
Great work, guys. This question mainly for Josh and Jen. Both obviously you're both parents. How has this movie impacted, changed, or reinforced your way of being if one day one of your kids tells you that they're gay?
I guess it did make me think about how I would react, and you know, I truly just want my kid to be happy and to be passionate about whatever he is that he loves. And if he came out as he was gay, so be it. You know, if that makes him happy, I truly believe that that's what it would be. And maybe it's because I waited a while before I became a parent. I'm not as, you know, I've seen a lot. I know what, you know, I have a lot of gay friends, and so I really don't care. I just want everybody to live, be their highest self, you know. And if that's what it is, that's what it is. It really doesn't bother me.
But also, our kids are growing up in such a different time where my kids are growing up saying, "Oh, someday when I get married, I don't know if I'll marry a man or a woman." They really, that door is open in a way that it never has been, and they really do know, oh, this is so and so, and this is his husband, and this is so and so, and this is her wife, and that is completely been normalized for at least for my kids, and hopefully will be for this whole next generation. So I think it would be a conversation that, you know, that somebody would be a part of, hopefully me, but, you know, somebody in their lives would be a part of from a much earlier stage, so that it wouldn't be as involved with like the teen angst at the same time. But I certainly, you know, my kids would know that I'd be super gung-ho. Awesome, let's do it.
Right back here.
I have it. Sorry.
Yeah, right here with the microphone in your hand. I'm assuming you're going to ask a question.
I am. I am with Red Carpet Report. But my question is, well, first of all, I loved it, and it rang so much like a John Hughes, like a modern Pretty in Pink to me, which...
Yay, Greg.
Yes. And growing up, like, as like an artsy girl, that movie like spoke to so many girls and guys that I know. Do you kind of hope this has the same effect to today's youth?
Heck yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing if we hit today's youth like a John Hughes movie? What could possibly, you know, be a higher compliment to Greg? And certainly we would all feel the kind of reflected glory of that.
Okay.
But I think it definitely will.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
We seem to. Oh, we have a question right down here in front again. We're just doing this to make you run up and down the stairs as much as possible.
Who is it?
Right here in the t-shirt,
And then you can pass it to her.
and then we'll go to you.
Hi, Nick. Thank you so much. You did such a good job with that role. I was just wondering if you had read the book and how much of Simon you feel is a part of you.
I have read the book. I read the script first, though. I was first introduced to the story through Greg, who had this script that he was kind of championing, and it was afterwards that I met Becky and I read the book. And I think that everyone, myself included, can relate to Simon and his sort of journey and just like trying to find yourself and come to terms with yourself in a way that feels comfortable to not just you but all the people around you as well. And I feel that Simon, his journey for a lot of it is it's about him sort of tamping himself down, which I think people can relate to, is like you know, what kind of person are you when you're constantly trying to please other people and like tamp down your own personality? And I think that that's kind of something that, you know, the film deals with really beautifully, and it's something that I can totally relate to with Simon as well. Just being in that position of trying to just trying to keep all these balls in the air, and you know, just, you know, get through it. So so yeah, I think, does that answer your question? I think it does.
And then we have a question next door here.
Hi there. The movie was outstanding, and as same age as you guys, I appreciate it because it was just beautiful. But my question, Nick, is that scene when you went back online and you spoke about I am gay and you took your power back. What word of advice, or what is it that you want people who are struggling to come out? What would you tell them?
I think exactly like you said, take your power back, and I mean, it's different for everyone, I think, but it's just be bold, be strong and loud, and be happy with what you know, be confident in what you're trying to say, and yeah, just, you know, dance some to Whitney Houston. I don't know.
All right. In the I guess that's the third row back.
Hi, I'm Satori. I'm curious for us all to share connecting with you and the roles that you all have acted. It was truly authentic. So where did you have to go to help us follow your characters? How did you get to the emotional depths? What could you share with us, maybe some personal insight, because we all go through trials and tribulations. So could you share maybe a little bit for each of you to tell us, you know, maybe something that helped you strike a chord with all of us in the audience?
Well, Greg gives you room to play and to find, you know, whatever it is, and that's what was really fun about a lot of the stuff that we did. In particular, I guess the scene, like I said before, the scene that I really wanted to do this movie for was a scene with he and I, and I think it was, how did it get there? I truly thought about my boy, and if this were to happen, if you were to tell me this, how would that affect me? And it just took me to like a really emotional place, just because truly, no matter what, you love your kid, no matter what, and I think that helped me get to that spot. Nick made it very easy. He's a really talented dude, and was very available. And you know, it's not easy doing scenes like that. But you know, as long as you feel safe to go there and to just tell the truth as honestly as you can, that's what you hope for. And I guess that's what helped me get there.
Well, for me, I was thinking about so many friends of mine and thinking, oh, I wish I could go back for them and say this to them. I wish that I could have, you know, I wish there have been a couple of friends, especially when I was younger, who came out to me, and I think, God, please let me have had a moment of wisdom when I was there for that moment. I hope that I did. But yeah, I was just so filled with love for the whole experience of it.
Yeah, I would say it was Greg as well. I'd just reiterate that. He really made a safe space for everyone.
Okay.
Fabulous. Hi guys, my name's Miles. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Good morning. So I had a question, but the lady in the front took it, so I'm just gonna make one up right now for you. What should I say? So a lot of the movie deals with, you know, having a secret and not really knowing how to express it and tell everyone, you know, what that secret is. Is there a point in your life where you have either gone through like either had a secret and didn't know how to tell someone, or a transitional phase and it was really rough? And how did you get through it?
I think everyone has secrets, and it's sort of like just a weight that you can carry around, and the more you talk about it, the better it gets. Yeah, it's very personal for everyone. I think there's this idea of like coming out with your secrets and coming out and sort of letting the air in. And I don't know if there's a right answer really for anyone. I think it's a very a very personal thing.
I think you're right too. I mean, the more you shine a light on whatever it is that scares you the most, the less scary it becomes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have family members that went through exactly what these guys or what this family went through, and I watched a very sort of old school dad and a very sort of accepting mother and how they dealt with it. And he just got married last year, and the dad could not stop crying. He was so happy for his son. You know, so I think that's a good example of, again, you know, it doesn't matter as long as your kid feels happy, passionate about something, and as long as they're a kind human being at the end of the day, who gives a shit what their sexual orientation is?
Right.
You know?
Amen.
Thanks, Miles.
Thank you.
We have time for one more, and right behind Miles there.
I love the movie. I was very moved by it. I'm a little tear-streaked. We don't see a lot of movies in this genre anymore. A lot of things are superheroes and all that, especially with gay content. Do you guys have any perspective on how they were able to get it made and get the money and get the budget? Because it's really the kind of movie that the story that you would see in a very small niche, and this feels like a big mainstream movie.
Well, Elizabeth Gabler at Fox 2000 was really brave to take this movie on. It's not the kind of thing that has been made. I think the power of Greg is, you know, his success is definitely the motor behind it. But I think the important thing is for people to go out and see it, or it won't happen again. So we can live in a world of superheroes and they're awesome and there's a place for it, or we can support the movies that we want to see more of. And you know, I hope that this is one that people will, you know, go and sit in a theater and watch as a group and enjoy and celebrate.
What a great answer. Well, I want to leave on this note. It's an important movie, it's a moving movie, but more than anything, it's a wildly entertaining and fun movie, and you should go out and see it and support it and tell other people to see it. So thank you so much. Thanks,
Thank
Ms.
you
Cash.
for making the day a good time to be here in the middle of the day. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.